we did the normal things with the family. We vacationed in Nantucket. We would vacation skiing in the Alps or the Rockies. But you're always near a phone, right? And I found that even on those holidays, I didn't get my batteries recharged the way they should have been, right? Because I've always had a connection back to work, and I wanted to, and I know I needed to find a way to completely get off the grid, which was not a term that existed in those days, right? So that I couldn't be reached. I remember Chris Canavan, you remember him, right? Sending a helicopter to pick me up in Nantucket to take me down to a presentation in Baltimore, right? It's like, I'm not that important, but apparently I was, because we're doing technology stuff, and there's no one else that can make the pitch, right? So I went, and I said, I need to be away. Now, at the same time, all right, I think my midlife crisis occurred in my 40s, when I started to think about there's more to life than just, going to soccer games with your kids, coaching them in basketball, right? Those circles, which are very, very important, and I continue to do that. But I wanted to do more about pushing my own envelope. I wanted to do more about what it's like to really be self-sufficient. How would I deal with adversity, right? How would I deal with uncertainty when presented in a wilderness kind of setting? I felt pretty good about myself when it came to business, right? In terms of figuring out a project plan or how to solve this problem, et cetera, et cetera. And so I decided that I'm going to do something different. And a friend of mine, he was a PhD candidate at MIT at the time. He used to be a fighter pilot and got nixed out of the Top Gun program because he was too thoughtful. He wasn't reactionary enough, right? He was just a little bit too slow because his brain engaged, and he wouldn't do anything until it was thought through. And he was looking to do something different. And he mentioned doing this ski trip, which is called the Haut-Trout, which is a ski mountaineering trip from Chamonix, France to Zermatt. It's about 112 miles. It takes about 6 to 8 days to traverse. And I said, well, how difficult can it be, right? I had 6 months, so got in shape, running, aerobic, et cetera, but didn't do too much on the rappelling or the rock climbing or, self-arresting, or nor did I practice what it's like to carry a 65-pound bag while you're skiing up a hill, right? Anyhow, we did it. And I happened to bring my brother along with me, who all he heard was, we're going on a ski trip to the Alps. So he comes thinking we're going to be drinking, we're going to be, chasing the young ladies in terms of lederhosen and so on. And when I told him that, no, we're hiking from this point to this point, right? And he looked at me like I had 15 heads. He goes, no, I'm not going to do this. I said, well, you've already signed up for it. You might as well go. So that was the beginning. And I loved the adrenaline rush that was associated with facing your fears, right? I love that. And there was something in me that really benefited from that. And so we migrated from doing trips like we did in the Alps. Following year, we did a ski mountaineering trip from Crested Butte up and over to Aspen, right? That was a week's worth, hitting all the different the huts that exist there. And then a helicopter skiing in Alaska, diving in Belize, diving in Galapagos. And so it became a thing where what sport or what type of physical activity have I not done? And then finding a place that I could do that. And that's And most importantly, it had to be in a place where I was not reachable. Now, you couldn't reach me when I was on my hiking because, you know, this is the 90s, didn't have cell phones. We had satellite phones, but you had to use them very sparingly because it cost a lot of money. So I think I even did some cycling. Excuse me. I cycled from Prague to Budapest. Three, you know, and these trips weren't your just like, oh, I'm going to go for the weekend to go diving. It was like 2-3 weeks, which again, you know, from the CNL days, unheard of for anyone to go on anything more than a week's trip. 2 is kind of like pushing it. And I always went on a 3-week trip because, you know, the first week takes some time to kind of just unwind and you really get to enjoy it the second and third week. And that's what I did.